Hi, everybody. Welcome to Community Fit, our fall session 2024. I'm seeing a lot of names that I recognize, so thank you for returning for our sessions. And then I see a few new ones, so hello and welcome. We are beginning our 6-week block of Community Fit classes. On Wednesdays, we have Midweek Desk Stretch, which you are in right now. And on Fridays, we have Adjusting to Change Toolkit. That will both be at 12:15. I did want to mention if you, I'm going to repost the Zoom link for the Adjusting to Change Toolkit in the chat today. If you thought that you signed up for it when you signed up for this class, they are two separate links. So if you are interested in that class as well, please grab that link out of the chat when I post it. Let's see. Gosh, it's been a while. I hope everybody has had a great summer. I know we're definitely ready to get going. Before we start, I wanted to ask really quick if you guys could all get ready to send a little emoji, a little wave, like, just something for anybody who is brand new to this class or any Community Fit class. If you could just send out a little emoji so we know that we can see the new people. Okay, we got one. Okay, just one. Okay, we got two. Awesome. Three. Great. All right, we got a few. All right. Yay. Quite a few new people. That's wonderful. And then, of course, returning Community Fit participants. Can I see an emoji from you? Yay. Awesome. Awesome. Well, be sure to tell your coworkers, tell your friends, tell your family. Yeah, we have a lot of returning as well. Just let's get people in these classes. They're free to the community. Hello, hello. And we just we want to help you to relax and de-stress throughout your day, throughout your week. And James is always here to help us to do that. So with no further delay, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to James.
Thank you, Alicia. Also, I love your new glasses. They are great.
Thank you.
I'm so grateful that Alicia did the intro that she did, because I did recognize like a lot of names that I was going through, and it's always hard for me because I'm kind of over here teaching, and if you see me looking over here, that's where my computer screen is, so I don't always catch everyone's names and like who's new and who's returning. So welcome everyone that is returning. Number one, so grateful to have you. I know I see some names on here from people that were like with us in live in-person park days and who have followed us along to the virtual classes. So thank you. And then thank you to all of the new people. For those of you who don't know me, I'm James, and I'm sort of the host here at Community Fit. I teach the majority of the classes. So as Alicia said, midweek desk stretch, that's what you're here to do today. We're going to jump into that here in a moment, but here's what I want to do. I have a plan of what I want to do today, but for midweek desk stretch, especially for those of you who are new, here's how we kind of run this. At the beginning of every class, I'm going to ask, is there anything in particular you want to work on today? Now, for midweek desk stretch, it's our embodiment class. So while we are working on stress and anxiety and all of that, what we're really centered in here today is body parts. So would you like to work on your neck today? Would you like to work on your shoulders, upper back, low back, mid back, hips, feet? I'll give you a moment to, I already see some of the familiar faces popping in with like, yep, low back, yep. So I'll give you a few moments and then I'll kind of check in over there. From here on out, I'll always kind of start. I'll pop on like a few minutes before the class and I'll put it in the chat so that we can get that going and we're not wasting class time on that. But for today, I just wanted to kind of come in and set that context that if you ever hear or see me asking, like, what do you want to work on today? That's the call for you to let me know how it is I can best support and serve you today. Now, I wanted to give a little shout out for Friday's classes because we did a little pivot on it. We've kind of changed the stress, calm, nervous system regulation classes a few different ways, just trying to find our stride in this. We did some stress work is how we kind of started it. Then we went into community and we ran that course for a number of sessions. And that class kind of, like I said, runs like a course where we take and we kind of work our way through some different ways that we can work through mindfulness, stress, trauma, anxiety, through the body, through the mind, all of those things. We're shifting it a little bit this time for a little trial to see how it goes. We're renaming it kind of more in alignment with some of my particular work, which is the ACT program, ACT, the Adjusting to Change Toolkit. So we're going to be playing a lot with that nervous system regulation, but we're also going to bring in some neuroplasticity exercises. We're going to bring in just a few different things. So it's not just about calming the nervous system, it's about adjusting to change, because stress, anxiety, overwhelm, burnout, all of those things, nervous system regulation, dysregulation, holds hands with change. And one thing we all know for sure, whether it's your personal life or your professional life, change is a constant. And change, if you just do a quick Google search, change everywhere is leading to some really unlikable things happening in our bodies, happening in our nervous systems, happening in our world. And so if we can help each other and help ourselves through change, big and small, all the better. So it's a nervous system regulation class, a little bit different tone, a little bit different thing over there. The other thing Alicia pointed out is we're doing 6-week blocks. So with that, and I promise I'll be quiet here in a moment and get to class, but the 6-week blocks are really designed so that we're building habits, and then we're going to take a break, and then if you want to rejoin us again, wonderful. Come on back. There'll be some familiar work. There'll be some new work every single session included in there. But what we find is a lot of your friends, when you tell them about the program, and you're like 4 weeks in, they're like, oh, I'll catch it next go round. So we've made the next go round easier to catch. So if you have some friends and some family who don't like to feel like they've missed out on the beginning of a series, no worries. Invite them in this series, but know that here in a very short period of time, we'll have a brand new series. So we're doing 6 weeks, taking a little break, 6 weeks, so on and so forth. With that, let's go ahead and get to midweek desk stretch. Let me check my, what do we got here? I'm going to just read a few of them. So we have neck and shoulders, neck. So lots of neck. We have some low back. We have some shoulders, neck and shoulders. We've got some knee stuff. Achilles on stretching arms while sitting down. Got it. Neck and shoulders. Okay, so we got a lot of neck and shoulders today. So we're gonna have a lot of it. We always try to kind of get a little bit of everything, but we're gonna have an emphasis on neck and shoulders. And then we're gonna try to fit in some low back and some knee stuff, like I said. So with that, go ahead and get comfortable. This is designed to be a seated class, although you don't have to. I'm going to be seated for the majority of class. Let's go ahead and get started. For those of you who are familiar with any of my classes, you know that we always get started with nervous system regulation exercises, whether it's a nervous system class or a movement class, because nervous system is the key to everything. Now, with this, for those of you who are brand new, know that we're going to do some atypical movement stuff today. This is not your push-up class. This is not your squat class. This is not your lunge class, although you might get a little bit of that. This is your move your neck in this direction, move your eyes in this direction. This is hold here while you move here class. What we're trying to do is release tension, get you into your body a little bit better today, help you metabolize some of those aches and pains so that you can continue with the rest of your week in the way that you need to continue with the rest of your week. So with that, let's go ahead and do some nervous system stuff. If you have been with us for a while, go ahead and do whatever practice it is you do. For me, I'm going to make it real simple today. We're going to take a regular human being inhale and an exaggerated prolonged exhale. Nervous system regulation 101. Short, brief inhale, exaggerated exhale. Let's do 4 more. Three more. One more. Practice number 2, orientation. Just start to look around your space and just begin to objectively versus subjectively notice things in the room. What that might sound like here is a window, blinds, wall, plant, pillow. Bob the dog, who you'll meet at some point. Bob the dog is asleep right here on he's like doing his shivers. Sleep right over here on the couch. There's a floor and a wall. And I'm just noticing what's above me, below me, without getting critical, right? It's not pile of stuff on the floor that needs to be cleaned, floor that needs vacuuming, all the critical stuff we do. It's just naming and noticing. Now, bring your hands together, get them warmed up. Take your warm hands, and place them right under the front of your throat. Let's start our practice for today. So often when we have some neck stuff going on, think throat muscle. And it can be from a number of things. Usually it's from tension and stress. It can also be from like stagnant posture, right? There's no such thing as bad posture. There's postures, but postures that are held for too long, stagnant postures, can often cause distress in the body. So I'm just going to let my head kind of hang down and just like I'm going to soften my throat muscles in my hand. And then I'm going to rock right and left. And we get a lot of the neck stuff, especially when we're like working on computers, cell phones, even reading books, right? Because if I turn to the side, what happens? I'm at my computer and slowly we start to go here. Cell phones, books. And so often those throat muscles get really tense. The neck muscles get a little wonky. We just gotta loosen them up a little bit, remind them they're alive and that they have other options. Then I'm gonna lift my head. I'm gonna take my right hand to the left side of the throat. Big, heavy hand draws to middle as I twist my face to look to the left. Left hand, right throat. Big, heavy hand draws to middle as I twist. Big, heavy hand. One more. Big, heavy hand. Taking both hands right into the jaw, just doing a little massage. Just generic massage. All down the jaw. Underneath. On the sides. And then I'm going to take my fingers and almost like little rain taps, just tapping on my face, maybe around the hairline, underneath the eyes, eyebrows, top of the head, back of the head, whatever it is, little raindrops. Take both fingers like you're going to pinch something, pinch your ears, gently pull them outwards and towards the back of your head. Very gentle. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to pull out at like a 2 and backwards at a 2. And then I'm just going to gently open and close my mouth. Looks funny. I know. A lot of the things we do look funny. Told you this is an atypical movement class. But what we're doing is kind of loosening up some of the jaw muscles. We're loosening up the eustachian tubes and kind of draining some stuff, working with lymph and working with some nervous system work to release tension from the jaw and the neck and ultimately the shoulders. And then release. Just notice any changes already. You may or may not notice. Then let your face muscles and the bones just look forward. But your eyes are going to gently look to the left and then scan to the right. So not a bone in your body moves, but the eyes shift left and right. Now, you will be inclined to do a blink switch, which is look right, look forward, look left, or staccatoed, right? Where it goes boop, 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 boop. See if you can get like a panoramic sweeping motion through the eyes. You may need to go slower. You may need to do it smaller. But those eye nerves and muscles are directly connected into the nerves and the muscles in the back of your neck, which feed and inform the rest of the back muscles all the way up and down. So we're not doing eye exercises just for eye exercises. We're doing eye exercises to relieve neck tension, jaw tension, shoulder tension, back tension, all the way down. Monitoring your breath, exaggerating that exhale. Now, for a lot of you, that might be like enough for today. It's like, yep, that's already a lot. I'm having a hard time. And notice, because it's not like physical exhaustion hard. Hard here in this class might be different. You might feel like, ooh, I don't like that. You might feel like, ooh, that hurts my eyes a little bit. You might feel like, this is stupid. Whatever it is, right? Just noticing where that friction point is. And like, that might be enough. For those of you who want more, let your eyes look forward, but kind of do a panoramic view. So you're not staring forward, you're kind of looking out of the periphery. Your eyes stay locked softly forward, and your nose looks left. Your nose looks right. Now, I guarantee your eyes are going to start following your nose. So monitor yourself. I'm not in the room with you. Monitoring your breath. And as I do this, like I could crank my neck further, right? Like I can do that. But when I get right about here, I feel like a mild tension up the back of the neck and into the head a little bit. And that's a cue for me, like, that's enough. That's where the work is. Now, as we're going through these practices, your job is to notice which ones you really like and which ones are exceptionally hard for you. Those might be the 5 that you practice for the rest of the week. You don't have to remember all of them. Now, even more for those of you who've been with us for a while, is my nose looks right, my eyes look left. That's what we're doing. Nose looks right, eyes look left. They meet in the middle, and then they switch direction. Nose looks left, eyes look right. Now, again, I'm not cranking it. I'm just kind of working with a mild discomfort, right? Like I'm going to where it feels like that's just enough twist. And that's just enough twist. Back to center and rest. Little soft circles with your nose, whether you want your eyes opened or closed, almost like you're drawing like a quarter size or a tennis ball size circle on the wall in front of you. And just feel the movement in the neck. Way up high where the neck meets the skull. And then reverse. And rest. We're going to move on to some shoulder, but we always start up here in the neck because so much of the shoulder integrity comes from what's happening in the neck and the jaw. It's like we're ignoring the tension in the body until it rises up to where it's mission critical up here, right? So here's what we're going to do now. When we talk about shoulders, most people kind of generalize this area, but we're going to get a little more specific. We're going to warm up our hands. And then we're going to take our right hand onto our left collarbone. And we're going to take and move that hand across the totality of the left collarbone. That collarbone is surprisingly bigger than what you're thinking it is. It goes all the way from the center of the throat out and kind of over that shoulder. So I'm just palpating, I'm just massaging, just keeping it warm. Now, I'm not having to push, I'm not overly struggling, I'm just like petting my collarbone. Then I'm going to rest my hand on that collarbone to where the heel is kind of on one aspect of the collarbone and the fingertips are on the other side. And then I'm going to move that collarbone underneath the palm of my hand. And I just want to feel movement all the way from, this is my right hand, from the right palm to the right fingertips. Is there a portion of that collarbone that is more or less reluctant to move? And can you get some more movement out of that collarbone? Shoulder integrity has a lot to do with collarbone movement. Then we're going to take our warmed right hand, we're going to slide it underneath the armpit and rest. If you have shoulder stuff, this is honestly one of the best practices you can do. It's just taking your hand, putting it underneath the armpit. There's a lot of nerves underneath that armpit. There's a whole nerve plexus, like a nerve superhighway underneath that armpit. And just putting a little warmth there does some magic for the arm, all the way down to the hand, all the way up into the neck, without you having to do anything. So just this. Just a few breaths. Now, I've got my hand in that armpit, right? And I'm just going to traction, like I'm going to try to pull the armpit towards the chest. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Then I'm going to lift my left arm. This is my left arm. Lift my left arm and lower it indiscriminately. But that right hand just has a little bit of traction, just a little bit of pressure, as if I'm pulling the armpit towards the front of my chest. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, it's pulling at like a 3 or a 4. Not a lot of work. Just kind of liberating that pec muscle, that chest muscle, away from the armpit a bit. Then finish with just like shaking out the hand. I can shake it, I can do finger flicks. And then I'm going to take my right hand, the free hand, and I'm just going to do like I'm just waking up, hitting, patting, stroking the arm indiscriminately. Now, on the back side of this left arm, back there, shoulder blade, your scapula. I'm going to move that shoulder blade kind of all over in the same way we did the front of that collarbone. If you are a visual person, you could imagine that those back ribs are like a whiteboard and there's tons of writing on there, and your shoulder blade is an eraser. And it's trying to get all of that writing up by your neck, down by your hip, towards your armpit, towards your spine. It's trying to get all of that clean. And then just rest in your chair and notice any distinctions, any differences between your left and your right side, the side you worked and the side you didn't. Then let's do the other side. Get it warmed. This side's going to move a little quicker, less explanation. Just massaging that collarbone a bit. Moving the collarbone. Warming the armpit. I like to couple in or add in that exaggerated exhale. I'm sure you know someone in the office, at home, who has shoulder stuff or neck stuff, arm stuff, upper back stuff that you can share these things with or invite them to class. Now, traction, lift and lower. This side for me is tighter. If you've been in this class for any length of time, you know, for me, right side's just tighter. I'm sure you have your tight and your not tight side. A little shake, a little finger flick, whatever it is. And then kind of waking up the tissue, moving that shoulder blade. Now, take both hands, reach them out. Each hand grabs a hold of the opposite wrist and it tugs like you're pulling them apart from each other. And you'll probably notice some tension, some squeeze, some contraction between the two shoulder blades. That's what we're looking for. And then release. Contract, release. Now, next time you do the pull, take in a great big inhale as if your chest is kind of getting bigger. Exhale, release. Inhale, tug. Exhale, release. One more. Just rock right and left. It can be big, it can be small. This is an exercise I call seaweed spine. So for me, again, a visual human, I like to imagine the totality of my spine from tailbone all the way up to my head becomes seaweed or a blade of wheatgrass or whatever, bamboo, whatever it is that moves well for you. And I just notice which portions of my spine are moving well today and which ones aren't. Can I get more movement where it's reluctant to move and kind of as if I'm going to exchange? The areas that are moving a lot, maybe they don't need to move so much. The areas that aren't moving a lot, maybe they can move more. And rest. Now, let's go to the low back. And for the low back, we're going to do surprising stuff. For some of you, we're actually going to work with the hips. So much of our low back stuff comes from hip stuff. So I'm going to show you for my body what this would look like. I'm going to sit forward in the chair just a bit, and I'm going to take my left ankle and crisscross it over the right knee. Now, for some people, this is already like a huge stretch and an undoable situation. You don't have to do this. What you could do, and I'll scooch back just a little bit more, is if this is where I'm at, you might want to straighten out the right leg a bit and kind of crisscross that ankle over like the shin. You may want to have, again, I got like a little couch over here. You may want that up on another chair. You may want it up on a couch. There's an infinite number of combinations, but we want this leg sort of somewhere like this. We're going to lock, this is my left leg, lock the left foot into a hard flex. And then we rock forward and back. That's it. One of the best hip openers stretches you can do. Just kind of rocking like I'm moving into the tension and out of it. I can also rock left and right in my chair. Now, if you're in a like office chair with wheels and on a slippery surface, maybe pick a more stable chair. You can do some circles. And while I'm here, I'm just going to grab a hold of my ankle and I'm going to do some circles. Now, I happen to be barefoot. You can do this with your shoes on. You can do this in an office. Doesn't really matter. Just doing some circles just because I saw the mention of Achilles. Now, we will have a class that's more dedicated to foot care, ankle care, lower body stuff at some point. But for today, this is sort of where we're at. And then I can just take and do a little generic massage on the calf. And then as I set that leg down, I'm just going to take and kind of I don't want to say beat the foot against the ground, but it's almost like a nervous foot. And it's just going to jitter. And then I'm going to sit still for a moment. And I'm just going to notice, again, any distinctions between my left and my right sides. What from that might be important for you to do for the rest of the week? What might be important for you to do as a regular habit? Now, switching sides, a little bit of a movement here, forward and back. Circles, whatever works best for you. And then ankle circles. General massage on the calf. Little crazy nervous leg there. And then I'm going to let both legs do the thing. Now, if I sit back, that's really good for like working through the feet, getting some ankle work, some calf work. But if I sit up and kind of do my arms like this and have to maintain balance, now I've got some seated core and back work going on. Both legs at the same time. And finishing out. All over shake. Shake, 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 shake. You can even stand and do a shake. You can stand and do a jiggle. We'll do that in the future. Take in a big inhale. Now, because we had so much neck and shoulder focus, I want to leave you with a bit of homework here. If you're someone who typically has neck and shoulder tension, again, usually it's from like stagnant posture, being stuck forward. Imagine that from your chin to the back of your head is like an upward, like boat ramp, an upward slope. And see if you can remember throughout the day to take your head not back, not up, but like up and back. Like it's sliding up and back. You'll often feel some like stretch contraction between the shoulder blades. You might even feel a little bit taller. But just remind yourself, even put like a little sticker somewhere, whatever the case may be, a little post-it note throughout the day, slide your head up the ramp. That's what I got for you today. Thank you for joining us. I hope you'll join us for our brand new ACT program class on Friday. I'll turn it over to Alicia. I'll stick around for whatever questions you may have. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, James. I just reposted the ACT Zoom link in the chat. So if you want to grab that, if you're not already signed up, then we will see you on Friday. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We had a great class, over 50 people, so growing every year. Awesome. So if you ever have any questions, of course, James is here to answer questions after class, or you can always email us. And I'll put in both of our emails in the chat right now too. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you hopefully Friday, if not next Wednesday.
Thanks, everybody.